Each person has a role. Like I think
Yes.
our whole pod sphere is very extremely infiltrated.
Oh, you,
Oh,
yeah. I mean, it's
wanted to
super
tell you
interesting.
something.
Yeah, please tell
No, go
me.
ahead. Say what you're saying, and I have to find this thing I want to
Well,
share.
when you get into like, what was Jeff Bezos' role? It's like, again, it's all of, we've had discussions on the show before, but I don't know if you've seen the show Dark Matter on, it's on Apple TV. It's a really great show. Like this week will be the season finale. It's a really great show. But like in that show, there's something that Jeff Bezos used to talk about when he was 13 years old. And he was in one of these like super smart programs. It's called the Infinity Box. And but it's super interesting that it's like, again, if you ever get Steven Schneider on your show, he always talks about how these Gates programs, these super smart kid programs,
Yes,
they're all just data. It's like
yes,
who's the psychopath, who's the
yes,
the evil mastermind. They just want to find all has zero sympathy for life, and that's all they're doing. They're
yes.
just trying to find who, and then they little pushes, boop boop boop, push
There
this
was a
way.
program called the Center for Talented Youth. It was a Johns Hopkins program, and it wasn't a place for talented youth to go to camp. It was a place for them to be observed. Zuckerberg was in it, Sergey Brin.
What's the name of this
The
program?
It's called Johns Hopkins Center for Talented Youth. Lady Gaga, the guy who did Quora, they were
What?
yeah, they were all in there. And so because the reason I started, I was like, I'm
One
gonna
more time,
find
the
out.
name. Sorry, I gotta look it up.
Johns Hopkins Center for Talented Youth. And it may not exist right this minute, but it did for them. And the reason I found it was I was watching Zuckerberg on at
There it
Congress,
is.
and I was like, that guy memorizes stuff. Like that's what they want from spies. They get history majors and stuff, people who can remember a lot. And I was like, his job, because he's not real. So his job is to memorize stuff. Then I
I
found out
agree
that
with
he
you. I
he
think like
transferred,
people
yeah.
might think you're crazy when you say he's not real. The whole Facebook story is a giant lie.
I mean,
He's
I think
just,
he's a human being.
yeah,
I don't
but
think
the
he's a
story isn't real.
no,
Like
it's no
same thing with
way.
Jeff Bezos, same thing with Elon Musk, same thing with Bill Gates. None of them are real.
No, and I did the top 10 big tech guys in this country, and the only one I could not find a direct link to intelligence was like a 1 degree of separation was Steve Jobs. And then I discovered that his birth father was a CIA agent in Syria. So I don't know if he gets a pass for that, but the so what Zuckerberg was laying out all this stuff, and I found out he transferred to Exeter, which is a really fancy high school, as a junior. I'm like, who transfers? I transferred to Harvard as a junior, and that was a moonshot. And before that, he had been a classics major. You know how much they have to memorize if you're taking Latin and Greek? That's what he was. And then he just went and did computers in Harvard till he dropped out. And I was like, and his mother is like a psychiatrist, but you don't know anything about her. There's no information there. I'm like, she knew about this program. She got him in, and this is where it came from. So anyway, I do think that. But here's the last thing I will leave you with.